Nine Sports presentation of Gearing Up for Greatness is sponsored by Southern University.
Guys, are you ready? Hell yeah!
Years of knocking on the door, Southern says now is the time to reclaim the SWAC title. An offense loaded with playmakers, matched with a defense poised to protect their house. Add in some new swag, and 2018 could be special. So the question is, Jags, are you ready?
Hell yeah!
It's time for Gearing Up for Greatness.
And with that, welcome to our 2018 Southern Special, Gearing Up for Greatness. I'm Craig Loper. Over the next half hour, we've got everything you need to know about the 2018 Jaguars, who are the new leaders set to emerge on defense, who will light up the scoreboard for the Blue Machine offense, and perhaps the biggest question, who will be under center? From 2010 to 2013, Dre Joseph led the Blue Machine, ending his career with a SWAC championship. And for the past 4 seasons, this guy, Austin Howard, was the unquestioned signal caller that developed into a surgeon behind center, breaking Joseph's records to become the school's all-time leader in passing yards and touchdowns. So, for the last 8 seasons, quarterback has never been a question for the Jags. But things are different for the first time in a long time in 2018, with a group of unprovens ready to make their mark as the next Southern great. Coach Dawson Odoms and his staff haven't really put a timetable on naming a starter, but they have said they're going to give all 3 in contention a chance during the first part of the season. It's a battle with some new names and faces we take a look at in this segment.
Some consider it the most important position in sports.
Starting quarterback.
And whoever ends up claiming that starting role will have some dynamic weapons at his disposal. Coming up, we take a look at some of the playmakers across this offense that make up the Blue Machine. And he's got one of the most unique stories in all of college football. Hear from senior wide receiver Randall Menard as he enters his second final year as a Jaguar. Plenty more still to come on Gearing Up for Greatness. Well, do your 1 in 11. That's the phrase the Jaguars coaching staff uses to preach responsibility this season. The Blue Machine offense is back with a solid mix of veterans and youthful playmakers working to get back to being one of the best offenses in the SWAC with an explosive special teams attack.
But putting it all together is where the magic happens.
The last time the Jaguars won the SWAC championship was 2013, and believe it or not, there's still one lone member of that team on the Jags roster in 2018. Unfortunately, Randall Menard's season was cut short last season, but fortunately, it provided him the opportunity to play one last year for the Blue and Gold and an opportunity to get back to the mountaintop.
Something that I'd like to live the rest of my life playing.
And Menard is squaring off against this Jaguar defense every day. It's not loaded with the big names you saw last year, but coming up, hear why the Jags are saying this year's defensive group could be one of the best in recent memory. And this is a story you won't want to miss. Meet the man behind the scenes at Southern that has been an intricate part to the program for more than 40 years. Equipment manager Derek Price. His story is coming up. Stay with us. More Gearing Up for Greatness when we come back. The Southern defense loses big names like Danny Johnson and Aaron Tiller this season, but this year's group is determined to make a name for themselves. The depth, experience, and speed all seem to be in place. WFB's Jacques Doucet has more. Well, Derek Price is perhaps a name you haven't heard before, but he's a critical part in making sure each and every player is outfitted appropriately day in and day out on the bluff. His story is next. And with lots of changes around the league, how does the SWAC stack up and where do the Jags fall? We check all of that out coming up on Gearing Up for Greatness.
I'm excited about what we're going to be rocking and rolling with this year. The players are excited. Coaches are excited. Let's go protect this house, baby.
Offensive coordinator Chennis Berry calling on the old Under Armour ad campaign as the Jaguars get ready to protect this house in 2018. Dawson Odoms took it a step further, saying his team needs to protect the bluff. Whether you believe the new gear gets the Jags ready for greatness or not, it's clear the guys are loving their new Jag swag.
Greatness.
Plenty of excitement for all that new UA gear on the bluff, but maybe no one as excited as the man who gets to dish it out. Derek Price is getting ready to leave the Jaguars after 27 years as the equipment manager. He's been around the program even longer as a player and an assistant coach. 42 years in total. Steve Schneider gives us a look at the man they call Coach P.
We will not win him anymore.
He's been on campus since the early 70s.
So happy, and it makes you feel good.
We're heading into our final Gearing Up for Greatness segment. When we come back, we take a look at the entire 10-game schedule for the Jags so you, the fans, can plan to follow them every step of the way. We wrap up our season special. Don't go anywhere. For the first time in more than a decade, the Southern schedule features just 10 games, one less than the usual 11 the Jags have played every year since 2006. Athletic Director Roman Banks has said the school was dealt a limited hand, and the problem was a scheduling issue with the league office. Despite that, you can always expect the Jaguar Nation to show up and show out.
The season is almost here.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight. Thanks for watching. And if you're out at some games this season, don't be a stranger. Come say hi. We leave you with this hype video, get you set for the season, cut by Southern alum and our own Byron Thomas. We'll see you soon.
Nine Sports presentation of Gearing Up for Greatness was sponsored by Southern University.